guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Yummy.com. I know everybody has done this. Well, first of all, let's address my shirt. It's perfectly imperfect. Love that. But I mostly love it because of the tulle. I love a good tulle at the bottom of my shirt. You guys can't see it, but it's really cute. But I wanted to come here because I realized that I never talked about Map of the Soul 7 properly. May have mentioned it in other videos, but I never talked about it properly. And this is my chance to kind of do that. So at this outlet, I can talk to my internet friends, so I might as well take advantage of that. Obviously, other people have talked about it. Some channels that I really appreciate have covered it, and rightfully so, especially when it just dropped. But I've never given my analytic take on it. So I'm gonna whip out my trusty dusty phone and we're gonna talk about it today. That's what we're gonna talk about. Map of the Soul 7. Oh, Tinder just told me I have a private admirer. Liar. We're gonna start at the beginning. I'm gonna go track by track, and then I'm gonna do a full review based off of the track placement. I'm a big person who believes in full albums and looking at the full body the way they're intended, because what a lot of people don't realize is that when you are a person who puts your album together, the order in which you put your album together matters a whole lot. So after I go track by track, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I'll play a little snippet of the track, hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted, and then just a small snippet, and then I'll talk about the track in general. And then at the end I'll give my full review of the track. So the first one is Intro Persona. I've already heard all these songs because it's probably May, maybe June by the time I'm posting this, and the album has been out by several months, so I've obviously heard all the songs. Intro Persona, from the first EP album that they dropped. Obviously, it's a great song. We all know it's a great song. It's been out for a while. We've all felt it. You know, who am I? Like, who am I? I love it. I think it's a good reflection, especially of his other intro where he's like, who am I to you? And I think, like, it's a great lead-in for this whole album, which is just a reflection of A, life, and B, a look at the Jungian philosophy that is, who am I? Like, who am I? Am I just my shadows? Am I just my light? Am I just the thing that reflects off of life? It's a really good starter for the whole palette and gives a whole good vibe. The next one, Boy With Love. Obviously an ode to Army. Hey, shout out to Army. I really appreciate this song. I love Halsey. I started to give Halsey, I don't know why I decided, I think I talked about this earlier, but I don't know why I was like, Halsey sucks. And then I listened to Boy With Love and I was like, maybe I should give Halsey a chance. Maybe she's got something going on that BTS doesn't know about, and she does. She's a phenomenal singer, phenomenal performer, and I don't know why I didn't appreciate her more when I had the chance, but I'm glad that she drops new music all the time, especially Suga's Interlude, again, a BTS collaboration track with my bias and my honeybee and my bias. So I love that track. So again, a great song. We've all heard it, we've all know it, we've all done the dance, we've all tried it. So next track, Make It Right.
Oh, I can make it right. Right.
Again, another track from the beginning. A lot of these tracks at the beginning are tracks from the first Persona, which is kind of a, I'll talk about it later, but it's kind of a good flip. Like, you know, kind of you see the dark side of your hand and then the light side of your hand. Like, I mean, I guess not everybody, because if you're white, it's the same color. But, you know, the dark and the light, you know, you kind of get this feel, the vibe that's going on. It's kind of like a roller coaster with heavy momentum. Make It Right is kind of this song that's like, first of all, horns. Love the horns. As a former saxophone player, I appreciate a good horn. And even though it's kind of highly distorted a little bit and maybe be a little bit synthetic, I really appreciate it. I can't tell you more about the art if you want to, you can check out Classical Musicians React. They have way better in-depth knowledge than I do, as someone who quit the horn in 9th grade. Of the saxophone in 9th grade. But yeah, a really great song, really good solid song. Love the remix with Love. On to the next track. Je veux.
Please give me a remedy.
I think this is one of the most underrated tracks on the song. Sorry, not sorry. Like, it's a genuinely great song that just gives you a flow and a vibe and a feeling of lightness, but like has all these like metaphorical heavy lyrics. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece that I really, really appreciate. Let's go on to Dionysus. All sing Dionysus being performed. Let's be real, if you're here, you're probably ARMY. And we all know how much of a bop Dionysus is. Gives us that rock edge. Thank you, Hobie, because we were missing it. And it's like kind of a taste of what's to come, because there's a lot more guitar. The second half of the album is a lot more guitar heavy, a lot more like so like it kind of gives you a little it gives you a heavy taste of what you don't expect later, because you're like, oh, they did rock on Dionysus kind of, so this is probably not gonna happen later in the album, and it does. And I love it because it's like kind of a, and also as someone who studied Greek mythology in the 6th grade, let me tell you, we studied Greek mythology. We had a whole semester that we studied Greek mythology. We put on a Greek feast. Like, I was a runner because I wasn't pretty enough to be a princess, but we put on a whole feast, like, as someone who studied Greek mythology, to learn about, to see them do a song called Dionysus, and like, Masha, Masha, Masha. I was gonna reach for a drink, but I think my drink is over there, so. Masha, Masha, Masha. I'm obeying. BTS, I'm obeying. I'm drinking. Just like you told me to. This is terrible wine. Just like you told me to. Doing as you say. Next is Interlude Shadow.
I wanna be the top. I wanna be a rockstar. I want it on mine. I wanna be rich. I wanna be the king. I wanna go win. I wanna be.
We all heard this song when it first dropped. I was at work and it was 10 p.m. here because I'm on the East Coast. And yeah, I immediately streamed it all day that day at work. Like, I was like I had it in a small screen in the corner, and then I had my work at the big screen, and it's still the background of my work laptop, the screenshot of Suga going like this. The screenshot of Suga going like this. It's still the background of my work laptop because it motivates me and fires me to do better. But as that's being said, like, it's a great song. It's a genuine bop, but it also has this kind of like turn in the middle that kind of like previews, again, a lot of the songs in the beginning I think preview what's going to happen at the end of the album. And it kind of like turns like this whole, like, obviously you want to be a rap star, you want to be a top, you want to be king, like, we get it, we totally understand it, but it's kind of like, you know, there's more obviously, but it's kind of like this whole preview of like your want, which is again, studied AP psychology in high school. I feel like they're speaking directly to me. Let's be real here. Between the Greek of Dionysus and the AP psychology that I took in high school, they're literally speaking exactly to me, because like, not only are you talking about like Masha, the Greeks, god of wine, but you're also throwing in some psychology, the id, ego. Oh my god, am I failing psychology right now? Id, ego, super ego. Mega ego, super ego. Googles it really quickly. Super ego, I was right. Id, ego, and super ego. Like, you have that like feel of like, you have that feel of like, is this my id speaking? Like, is this the underbelly of me speaking of just my wants and desires, and how does that pertain and play into the rest of me that goes on in this whole synopsis of music and of being a person. Next is Black Swan. We all know that movie. You all know the reference. Mila Kunis as her best. Like Black Swan, that whole, again, dark versus light. Am I embracing if I'm embracing the dark, am I denying the light? Is the question. And the answer is no. But
parachute right in your dumb fucking face kinda hard. I lost all sense of who I was.
Harley Quinn might tell you otherwise. But again, it's kind of like this whole dark versus light balance of good and evil, yin and yang, we're all not just one thing kind of vibe that gives you a deeper, that leads you into the deeper question of who am I? Am I the dark or am I the light? Filter. Now guys, this may just seem like a bop, but it's actually not. It's actually way deeper. It's actually a question of the masks that we wear as a human. And as someone who's like a black woman in America, I put on various masks. Even right now on the internet, I'm putting a mask of the best me. And BTS talks about it all the time, how they're trying to be the best them. And I really appreciate that because I like how they're not trying to say like, I just want to be the best. No, they want to be the best version of themselves because they know that's all they can be, and then they know that's all they should be. But it's a question of like the mask that filter is a question of the masks that we wear, the filters that we wear, like actual filters that we use in our daily life. The way I talk to you guys, my internet friends, is not the same way I would talk at work. It's not the same way I talked in middle school when I was with my hood friends. It's not the same way I talked in college when I started to engage with white people. It's not the same way I engaged when talking to people who were not my complexion or from my background. Like, I know I'm very guilty of this, changing who I am to better fit the masses and what other people may need, and it kind of has that deeper undertone to it. It's kind of like the whole message of BTS of like, you know, you listen to it and you're not a Korean speaker and you're like, this is a bop, and then you read the lyrics and you're like, oh no, my soul. Like, it kind of has that vibe to it because kind of embodies the whole BTS. It's a great beat but real lyrics. And I think Filter does that very, very well. Has a Latin flair, which is like a perfect for Jimin's voice. Like, I love that Jimin had a solo song. I also will talk about that later in the video. But like, it's a great song with a great feel, with great lyrics that actually apply to us of the generation of being a millennial or a Gen X or a Gen Z, or like, you wear so many filters as to who you are. Next is My Time, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm a sucker for a good R&B song. Like, it's one of the reasons why V is like one of my bias records, is because when he sings Stigma or like when he sings Singularity, it just reminds me of that R&B childhood that I grew up with. And Jungkook, I've always thought that Jungkook, like, since I joined, which is like, this is my second, this June will be my second Festa.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
But what I'm trying to say is that My Time is kind of like a secure vibe that like is also reflective. Again, it's the same as Jimin's Filter when I say that it has that vibe, that like movement of like, yes, 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 but it's like Begin. It's literally like Begin, because it has this deeper meaning, but then you're just like, also same as Euphoria. All Jungkook's songs are like yeah, let me get it, let me get it, let me get it, what? But you're also like, this hurts my heart. Like, these lyrics are real to me. I'm a real person, and it feels like BTS is just acknowledging that you're a real person. That's what they're good at. Next is Louder Than Bombs. The song was written by Lauv, and I love Lauv. Again, found him through BTS. No, I didn't find him through BTS. I found him through work. I forgot that I knew him. Lauv, I found him through work. I love his work. I've actually seen him perform, and he's a great songstress. He reminds me of Charlie Puth in the way of like his words have heavy meanings. Like, maybe not now Ed Sheeran, but like past Ed Sheeran. Like, both of them follow that vein, Charlie Puth and Lauv, of like, and like Hosier, yeah. Like those, I mean, they're not the same vibe, but in the lyrical sense, that's what I'm talking about. And I really appreciate the vibe of the song. It's a bop. On. On. We've all seen that Kinetic music video. Oh, we've all seen the music video. Oh, it's so hard to watch because they are so good looking. They are so good looking. And it's so strange to be like, yo, you're just really good looking, and it's really hard to me to focus on what you're saying. But you have to focus, guys. Stay with me and focus. The lyrics of that song are phenomenal. Like, even the fact that they make it their title track, and it's probably has the most English besides Intro Persona in the whole album. It makes so much sense why it's the title track, because A, it brings the whole album together. It kind of brings the whole album as a whole, as the stop, as like one of the stopping points before it hits its transition that I'll talk about later. It's like bring the pain, bring, like, you can call me whatever the fuck you want. It's like Idol but upgraded, because it's like call me whatever you want, say what you want, bring the pain, because the pain has brought me here, and here is ready to fight you. Like, here is ready and armed to go. Like, here is where I'm ready to wreck you. Here is where I'm ready to treat you like you've never been treated before, in a sweet way, because I'm still BTS, but I ain't scared to cut a bitch. Like, you know, that's how I feel about On. It kind of like, it's like, bring the pain, I'll fight the pain. Like, I'll fight it. I'll square up right here in these streets. I'll square up. You scared? Because I'm not scared. You know? Next is First of all, any song that has sugar on it, immediately I'm like melting. But like is like, it's Cypher Part 5. Why are we all pretending it's not Cypher Part 5? Why are we are we? Zayn, are you pretending? It's Cypher Part 5. Let's be real. It's like, fight me in these streets. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to deck. Like, and if On is like, I'm telling you to bring the pain, and is like, and then I'll punch it out of your mouth. Like, I will wreck you in these streets over it. Like, over it, done, gone. But that's how I feel about It's Cypher Part 5. If you have something different, let me know in the comments down below, but it's Cypher Part 5. Then we hit the turning point. 0 o'clock.
0 o'clock. And you're gonna be happy.
Silly Pack talks about it a lot in her video. I'll link it down below. When she's reviewing it with her sister.
Everyone has had a really hard time before, and you know, you're just watching the clock, and then it hits midnight, you know, and it's like you're starting a new day. I think that's what that's about.
Girl, this is number 13 too.
But it literally is the turning point of this album. It is the cleanser of this album. It's number 13. I learned about this by listening to her video where she talks about how 13 is after 12. So it's like, it's literally 0 o'clock, because, you know, you hit midnight and you hope for the best, that it'll be a better day. It'll be a new day. and nothing will stop you this time. Like, it's kind of a renewal system, and it's kind of a renewing of the soul and kind of cleansing all that negative energy that and On and Black Swan and all the other songs kind of carry with them. It's like, and you'll see it throughout the rest of the album. It's the turning point, because nothing negative necessarily, it's not that nothing negative happens, it's that nothing negative can affect them. It doesn't affect them to the point where they won't even mention it. Like, your name means nothing, Be Free. Like, your name, it means nothing. And that's like the most important part of like 0 O'Clock. It's kind of a refresher. It's the vocal line giving us their all. It's Jin's vocals. I didn't say this in the On part, but like Jin's dancing and Jin's vocals are insane. Like, everybody knows Jungkook can sing his little behind off. Everybody knows Suga can rap circles around the world. But Jin dancing and singing just moves my heart to a different, this is where my heart is, sorry. Moves my heart to a different mood, to a different perspective, to a different everything. And I'll talk about it more when we get to his solo track. Next is Inner Child, which is V's solo song. I love that V had Inner Child because he is this childlike being. He reminds me the most, again, of one of my favorite artists ever, Hosier, where he is just this free spirit, but like also, are you okay, V? Like, like, I want to personally, if you ever see this video, which I know you won't, but I want to personally tell you that like, I respect the deepest parts of you, and like, I feel like it's so hard to be yourself in such a situation where you're just covered by the world, and it's kind of insane and it's kind of insanity, but you move on and you keep persisting, and you keep that childlike wonder about you, and that is what I genuinely appreciate about you. But like, I also genuinely like, I feel like it's such a song of renewal to come after 0 O'Clock, and it's like called Inner Child, which is like, you know, once you're born, you're reborn again, and the inner child in you is reborn. Like, you're just trying to, the thing about all of it, and the thing about the world that I'm learning in my ever searching quest, is that we are all just searching to be that inner child, to make that inner child in us proud, to make that 12-year-old Yemi proud, to make that 10-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old Yemi proud, and to know that your mistakes are not who you are. They're just pieces of a puzzle that will commit to a bigger picture, and that kind of is what Inner Child means to me. And I really appreciate this song, like, heavy over every song on this album. It kind of hits me really close to home. Then we go to Friends. Friends, I love like, as a person who, you guys are my internet friends, I talk about it all the time, you guys are my internet friends, and you know, my best friend lives in Finland, my sister doesn't live with me, like, I'm kind of alone here. It's a beautiful song to see two people who have such respect and love for each other that they're willing to devote a whole song to it. Like, it's excellent. Like, all I need is a shoulder to lean on, and I know you'll be that shoulder. And that's one of the best parts that I love about BTS, is that, I think Jessie said it, where she's like, oh, they're actually friends. Like, they're actually a band, a group, a cohesive unit who like each other. And that is one of the things that I think Big Hit got so right. Like, it's a vibe, it's a feeling, it's a group of togetherness, and I feel like it's one of the reasons why we respect BTS so much, because they are together, they are a unit, they are friends at the end of the day. And all of this ends, if God forbid BTS ends tomorrow for whatever reason, I fully believe that they are friends. And like, I was a sworn directioner But you could not convince me back in the day where I would drop $1,000 as a high school student to go see a One Direction concert that they would all still be friends at the end of the day. Because we all knew if you were a good Directioner, you paid attention and you knew that Zayn was going to leave them at some point. The same with Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony. I went to go see them in concert before they were even big, before Work From Home, before anything. And I already knew Camilla was going to leave the second she had the chance, because it doesn't seem like a genuine friendship, like a genuine relationship or anything. Like, they all seem like genuinely great human beings, but it didn't seem like they genuinely loved each other in the moment. So, that's what I have to say about Friends. Moon. Jin, Kim Seok-jin, let's talk. Why did you do that to me? Why did you, I know I have a pimple on my face, but like, why did you hurt me? You didn't hurt me, you just exposed me. I feel very exposed with that song. You listen to that song and you know the feelings in your heart are just, again, pieces of the puzzle to be made beautiful again. And it adds to the feeling of like, we are here in this together. We will move together. We will strike together. We are an actual army. And I really appreciate that song. And your vocals only elevate. Like, you have, when I think about Jin, I think about Awake. And I think about how he's talking about, like, I know I wouldn't be great without these guys around me, but I genuinely think you will always be great, because those guys around you couldn't exist without you. BTS couldn't exist. People say BTS couldn't exist without J-Hope, but BTS couldn't exist without every single member, because it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. They wouldn't have someone to care over them and love them the same way that you would, Jin. And that song just moves me and just... Cut before... I need a cry break. Cut. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to Respect before I cry over Moon. Respect. I love Suga. RM is the reason I got into BTS. Suga is my bias, and so the fact that they're both on this bop is killer. And I love that it's a direct reflection of is like you talking to your haters. You'd be like, you guys are not even like, you guys are like, you're not even worth the words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, Respect is just like, no, I don't care if you're worth the words coming out of my mouth. You're gonna respect this shit. You're gonna respect, put some respect on my name. Me and my boy here, yeah boy, we gonna kill it. Yeah, fuck yeah, we gonna kill it. No other words necessary. Like, we are who we are, and you're gonna respect it, and you gonna love it, and you gonna eat on it, and you gonna pray on it. And that's what it is. And that's what respect is to me. Like, it's a direct reflection of where it's like, is like, I don't even want to talk about you. And then respect is like, I don't even need to talk about you. Like, it's just kind of a vibe. Next is We Are Bulletproof, the Eternal.
We are forever bulletproof. Can we get to heaven?
This song. Give me a second. I can't breathe. As someone who's a baby army, and I consider myself a baby army, obviously, because I have been in this game less than a year, up to a year. Now, I just genuinely, I wasn't there when the first Bulletproof came out, We Are Bulletproof. To be clear, I was very confused when We Are Bulletproof Part 2 was the bop, and I was like, I couldn't find We Are Bulletproof anywhere. I was like, there's a Part 2. It was like R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet all over again. But like, I saw it and I felt it. We were only 7, but we have you all now. Like, it's this whole album kind of is not only a realization of your lights and your darkness and how that makes you all into one being, but it's a love letter to ARMY and how we are all one being and how we need to respect ourselves. It is literally the version of RM saying to speak yourself. He is telling you that your darks and your lights are worth being spoken to. A lot of people try and hide who they are and hide pieces like in filter, but you are who you are and they love you either way. And I know it's impossible to imagine 7 men who you've never met loving you who you are, and it's kind of crazy to think about that, but like I don't think that they're like, oh, saying only love each individual. Like One Direction, Boyz II Men, Backstreet Boys, they were like, Justin Bieber, they were like, we love you and only you and your face and your 2 arms. Bo Burnham talks about this. He's like, I love how you have 2 arms and 2 eyes, like they're kind of hot. No, they're saying that you have faults and fears and lights and darks, and we appreciate them because we know that it took us so long to love ourselves and our lights and our darks and our everything, and we know that you are working towards who you should be, and we appreciate that work that you are putting towards to be a person, to be a better person in humanity, to be an ARMY. And that is not a word that I take lightly. As an ARMY, I try and be the best version of myself, not only because I love these 7 men and I think that their music is phenomenal, because it is, but it's because you have to be the best you to wear that badge of ARMY. You have to be who you are indescribably to own that word. People will try and cut us down and say that we're just little girls in the basement loving ourselves, like, oh my god, they're so cute. But no, we're full human beings with motives, with means, with lights, with darks, with everything inside of us, and you can't stop us just because you want to invalidate our feelings, no matter our gender, sex, color, anything. Like, and that is what moves me when I hear their music. That's a lot for just a track that's not even the last track. We have Outro Ego. Outro Ego, again, I linked Silly Pack's video in the bottom because I feel like she describes it way better than anything I can. Outro Ego is the light at the end of the tunnel. When they first dropped Interlude and Outro Ego, we were kind of like, what kind of album is this gonna be? This is a lot. These are 2 separate things. Like, one is like, I want to be gangster, I want to be on top, I want to be rich, I want to be the king. Oh, like, one is like very, and then one's like with his baby pictures all wildin', and you're like, these don't sound like they're from the same album, let's be very honest. But it's kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the glimmer that keeps us going. It's the everything, you know. It's kind of like, it's the happy ending that we can all find attainable in being ourselves, you know. And then the last song on the album is On by Sia. It's not by Sia, it's On featuring Sia.
I'm a fight, bring the pedal, yeah. All the time, we're just going on and on and on and on. I'm a fight, bring the pedal, yeah.
I think that it's really lovely. I feel like they use the same format and the same vibe as they did with Boy With Love. And it's to the point where it's not too much, but it's just enough of Sia to be like, she's not the main focal point. She's not the reason that you're supposed to be listening to this. You're supposed to be listening to this and using her voice as if it were you, you know? And like, I like that it's a female voice because I'm a female, but like, it's kind of a universal. They use these artists who are not just females, who are proud to be females, but also are just artists, you know. They use these people who are just artists and who take pride in their artistry, and they kind of use them to be tools to give us a voice within the album, and I truly appreciate it. Now, as a whole, I think the album definitely has its, you should listen to it in its order, because it goes from this dark, mysterious place to this painful place to this fuck you place to a whole renewal setting, and just using the positivity to renew you. And I think that's the journey that BTS wants us as ARMY to go on. They want us to take this pain, bring the pain on. They will take our pain for us, take this pain, this heartache, this all the hard things that we've been through as people, and to push it into positivity, into light, into movement. And that's why they have On by Sia. I know On by Sia is not a lot of people's favorite tracks, but if you listen to it as if her voice is your voice, you feel the momentum of it. You feel them saying the first time in On, bring the pain on, like we will take our pain. And then the second time it's kind of like, we will take your pain. And I genuinely appreciate that, and it's one of the reasons why I love BTS so very much. I'm yummy.com. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned. Thank you, internet friends. I love my internet friends.